Hey folks, so I've seen a few of these videos on TikTok where flat earthers try to simulate sunsets and try to prove that it works on a flat tabletop or a countertop or something like that, like a flat plane with the sun moving away from them. But if you watch a few of the videos and actually break them down and use a little bit of cognitive abilities, you would come to realize that they've had to manipulate this and kind of create some fallacies just to make it look somewhat legit. But they still fail to actually simulate what we see in reality for sunsets. I've actually taken upon myself to try to do the same thing, but I've tried to do it the best way I can to keep it genuine and to show both ways and how the flat earth way completely fails and how the only way is if it's over a horizon we actually see what we see objectively in reality. Let's have a look at the original videos, the one example of the flat earth ones, and then I'll show you my videos. If you look at the angular size difference of the sun compared to the coin actually appears bigger in this. Very important because watch what happens. Now here you can see the actual angular size of the coin is suddenly becomes smaller compared to how the sun actually is for the top part. Also, if you look, the way that the video is, he's actually got the camera below the level of the table and pointed up to try to make this look like it's the sun setting over a horizon. But that's not how we see the sun and the horizon. So right there, as you can see here, examples of sunsets, you can see how the ground of the ocean in some of these is moving from your feet and moving away from you. So you actually see all the way up and you see the apparent horizon, or sometimes optical horizon, depending on the refraction, off in the distance and the sun setting over that. So let's have a look at my example. Okay, just now time for my examples. Now, I tried to make it closer to reality, so I actually had the camera just above like the top of the table, as close as I could, to try to simulate if you're standing on the ground and you're looking out. It probably actually even simulate being less than a 6-foot person looking over the horizon, but that's here nor there. At least you can look and you can see how the plane moves out and up and away from you, as if you're standing on the ground, as opposed to the flat earth videos where they put the camera below the level of the table and then they try to shoot up, or they try to have it just below so that you cannot see the counter actually moving away as you would if you were standing on the ground. So that's one way that they try to fake this, because if they did do that, you'll see why in my video. So you see here, right on the edge of the table here, but you can see how the countertop is actually moving away from the opticals. And here we are moving the sun back. I'm doing the same kind of action that was done in the flat earth video, but as you can see, a completely different result, mainly because I've actually set the camera where you would be if you were standing on the ground and looking out towards the sunset. This is how it would appear in his example if the earth was flat. Is all you'd see is it just going smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller. You'd actually never see it set. You just watch it just go, way smaller. But obviously the sun doesn't even sit on the ground like this, so it doesn't work. So I've put it up higher. This, it's not the scale, but you get the idea. This is how the sun would go. It wouldn't actually set. It just goes smaller and tinier and tinier and tinier and tinier. But we don't see that in reality. If you ever watch the sunset, I've actually taken pictures in one of my videos where I went from sunrise to all the way to the day and all the way to where the sun sets over top of the houses behind me, and the sun never changes size. It always stays the same. So as you can see here, that sun goes really tiny and then goes quite, and then goes bigger, right? And even comes over your head like that. So that's not what we see in reality. And in the video, this is how it would actually look if he actually did it in a genuine manner. It would just go tiny and tiny and tiny, but you never actually see the sun set like in reality.
Hey, what's going on?
Nothing.
Okay, now the next one I'm going to show you here is to have, I've tried to simulate some sort of like horizons and moving up and then moving away, and then like say a hill, or even like the curvature of the earth, and then the sun just setting. So it's going straight up and straight down, and it's going straight up and down. That's all I'm doing. As you can see, it simulates and looks much more like how we actually see objectively of a sunset, as opposed to my example of what actually would happen on a flat earth. I did actually try to even have it up higher and lower to see, okay, because, you know, obviously the earth doesn't sit on the ground, doesn't roll away from us. You know, the sun, even on a flat earth, is supposed to be 3,000 miles or something above the surface, or whatever. They make up whatever numbers that they seem to want to fit. But as you can see, mine, it makes a lot more sense and looks a lot more closer to what is actually seen in reality. Okay, so here I am, starting off with the sun. Just holding it here, got the camera set over, so we have a horizon off in the distance there, and you see the sunset, and you can see the sunrise. Now obviously this isn't the scale whatsoever. I'm not trying to do scale, it's just an example of to try to simulate what you kind of see in reality. So as you can see, this is much more closer to what you would see for if you see a sunset, and even maybe even the sunrise. But as you can see, as the sun's setting, you can see it disappearing from bottom up to the top, the very top, around the corner, around the top edge, and then down, like you actually see every time you see a sunset. Flat Earth, this would never happen. It's impossible on flat Earth, you know, because, you know, the sun will only just go away from you and it's go tinier and tinier. Let's check and see if that example simulates reality and what we objectively see. So let's, in this one here, see the sun is setting and it's going down, disappearing from bottom up. Yep, that looks pretty close. Let's check another one. Here's another one here. Now you can see the sun fairly clearly in this one here. And as it goes down, disappearing bottom up, yep, close enough.
Can you go?
So there you have it, completely debunked this flat earth meme and these videos. They try to show these this example and try to claim that sunsets work on a flat earth, but they actually don't. The only way they can make them work is by making a bunch of fallacies and twisting and turning things until it can make it fit. So they don't actually simulate or try to emulate reality at all. They only just try to do whatever it takes to make it work. And even if they have to, like, ignore a bunch of other things that we do actually see to make the one thing work, but then the other stuff doesn't work. So that's not what happens to flat Earth. Every time they try to make one observation we see in reality work for the Earth, they have to throw away other things we see and not work to make the one thing work. A bunch of other stuff doesn't work. They make the other stuff work, then that thing doesn't work because none of it actually works. Because the flat Earth is impossible. It doesn't work. It's just a fantasy. It's a fallacy. It's just conjecture, and all it is just a bunch of bullshit that a bunch of people with very low IQs try to put out and to make themselves feel special, make them feel smart. But they look like idiots to 99.99% of us. They actually know the Earth is actually a sphere orbiting the sun in a solar system going around the Milky Way galaxy. So don't forget to follow me to see more videos. Like the video if you like it. Hit the plus button and comment if you like to comment. Thanks for watching and see you again.
Sweet, sweet Flerfs.